Thanks and welcome to the 6:15 News with me, Kejang Henry Atimbi. And wishing you all a happy Boxing Day. Let's flag off with our headlines. Mixed levels of commitment as civil servants and state employees drag legs after the festive joy of Christmas. The senior divisional officer for Vuri, Sadak Mvogo, was on the field to assess effective resumption on Boxing Day. Same timidity in the capital city of Yaoundé and other major administrative headquarters of the country. And despite selfless service to the nation, Cameroonians hold Justice Ayapola Bine died like a rat after he underwent torture and torment at old age. And Ivorian authorities have shut down 150 clinics for non-compliance as part of efforts to clean up the country's healthcare sector. Top stories. Thanks and welcome to join me. You can hook up with us on our different platforms. Now we begin from Yaoundé. It was a timid resumption after festive period, Christmas period yesterday, Christmas Day yesterday. And so the capital city was void of its streets, or the streets were void of the usual bustling, as we are going to get it from our Yaoundé chief correspondent, Beatrice Nkamu.
The early morning fog this Thursday was in the quietness of the streets as many hotspots, drinking places, shops like stores still to open their doors. Indication yesterday's celebration was indeed long and magnificent. Relaxed traffic, as light circulation can deceive someone entering Yaoundé for the first time to think the capital city is under control, especially as the streets are free from circulation controllers at road junctions and roundabouts. Few cars like bikes enjoy their time. Around the central post office, cleaning the other. Towards the ministries, the emptiness also felt. Many offices void of their occupants. The few present trying to separate their bodies from yesterday's enjoyment.
Beaucoup de gens sont encore chez eux et les bureaux sont presque fermés.
D'ici janvier, ça serait même plus chaud que ça.
Les rues sont libres. On constate que plusieurs sont restés à la maison.
À vous, ça après le 20, c'est le 21. On n'a plus rien dans les poches.
Moving towards the Longkak roundabout, cleaning of the garden ongoing. These two can freely kick their balls around, especially with all the space. Supermarkets like local markets, very timid as far as business is concerned. This December 26, show one for many as liquidation of the rest of Christmas Day food many are enjoying as breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Most Yaoundé residents need to beef up time and energy to resume their normal activities. That goes with the preparation of the end-of-year feast and its own hustling and bustling.
And we move over to the Senegal Maritime Division. In fact, move over to the Upper Senegal Division, where 150 books have been placed at the disposal of students from primary to the university. And of course, this rich library is going to help the students beef up their academic career. We have the details with Ambo Gladys Diba.
For students in Nangai Boko, the holiday season isn't just a time for relaxation, it is also an opportunity to catch up on their studies, thanks to a library that is providing a wealth of academic resources. The facility boasts an impressive collection of over 150 books, ranging from primary and secondary school curricula to university-level text.
Vous avez 200 là.
You have 200 books on religion, as well as space for dissertations and theses. It's a monument of knowledge regeneration and a place where students can advance their understanding of various subjects.
Peter Lando, the curator of the library, adds that the serene atmosphere ensures students can focus on their studies without interruption, making it a vital resource for knowledge regeneration and academic catch-up.
The advantage for those who love reading is that there is a quiet place where they can focus, free from distractions and noise. With the necessary resources at hand, students can stay at the forefront of new discoveries and scientific advancements.
The library recently received a high-profile endorsement when Nasiri Paul Beya, governor of the Central Region, visited the facility. The visit was seen as a Christmas gift to the education community in Nangai Boko, reaffirming the region's commitment to foster education.
Serving the nation and undergoing torture or torment from the state. Justice Ayapo died yesterday, that is on Christmas Day, in Buya, in a hospital facility. Our Yawibri correspondent, Hyacinth Shera, talked with some politicians and other people who now size up Aya's strength in this report.
The demise of Justice Ayapo Labine is viewed by many as a great loss for the nation, a man who leaves behind an unforgettable legacy, especially in the fight against injustice.
Someone who is a beacon, whom we hold in high esteem. In the judicial family, judicial sphere, Barrister Ayapo, while a judge, had proven that he was an incorruptible judge, a judge that was straightforward in all his decisions that he's taking. He did not thwart justice. He fought for human rights, fought for the rights of the downtrodden. Justice Ayapo, in fact, has stood firm stand on certain national issues where he thought it was very right for him to do and for Cameroonians. He has handed down landmark judgments in this country, and it's a reference.
It's a very big shock to us Cameroonians and to Anglophone Cameroonians in particular. In fact, Honorable Ayapo Abine has laid down a legacy. I think there is no way we can write the history of Cameroon between 1990 to 2024 without giving a chapter to Ayapo Abine.
The former magistrate of the Supreme Court, lawyers, political analysts and politicians lament has suffered some sort of injustice from the state, which has rendered him frustrated and helpless at old age, especially with his arrest and imprisonment in 2017.
He's dying today because they marched on his rights. They didn't pay his pension. Something that is due is his right. They have blocked his account. In fact, frustrated him. He resigned him in Buya, his residence, and he was there for a long time. Even then, they came threatening to arrest him. I defended him when he was locked up in SET, pleaded his matter in the High Court here. Even his colleague judges, in fact, could not help out. You see that the justice system was, in fact, stifled. That a Supreme Court judge is judged by a judge of the High Court. It was an aberration. His money rightfully worked and cut like that.
And with the hurdles he has gone through before his death at the Buya Regional Hospital on December 25th, 2024, the lawyers are anxiously waiting for the government's next move.
I'm waiting to see whether the Supreme Court judge will say, let them bring him to the Supreme Court, because that is the process. He died being a lawyer. Out of frustration, he left. When he was pushed out of government, he came sworn in as a lawyer and was practicing quietly. But then the feelings of his money not being there everything made him, in fact, nobody can live long with such a situation.
Born in 1950, Aya Paul Abine was noted in the 2000s as critical member of parliament under the ticket of the ruling party, who repeatedly questioned government actions and later left the CPDM to join the Popular Action Party, running for the presidential elections in 2011. His detention in 2017, linked to the ongoing Anglophone crisis, has kept him on the sick bed, affecting his sight and putting him on the wheelchair. He dies at the age of 74.
No, thanks very much, Hassan Sheriff, for that report. And we continue with our stories on Christmas. After the festive joy of Christmas, civil servants and state employees are bound by the duty to return to work and ensure continuity of public service. However, the pace at which these workers resume was telling this morning. So it was a mixed commitment, as some of them actually dragged feet. Details in this report. After the festive joy of Christmas, civil servants and state employees are bound by duty to return to work and ensure the continuity of public service. However, the pace at which they resume was telling. A visit to some of Douala's public services on 26 December revealed mixed levels of commitment, with some workers visibly dragging their feet. The streets of Douala were unusually quiet on the 26th of December, as if the city itself was still in a holiday slumber. Despite this, the senior divisional officer for Vuri, determined to ensure public service continuity, took to the field, making rounds to assess the situation firsthand. At the Vuri transport delegation, there were large crowds of users seeking services. However, the unavailable staff were attending to the few files that came their way with noticeable negligence. The duty roster ensures that operations continued without exhausting the workforce. One of the staff members actually explained, this system, a practical compromise for post-holiday recovery, underscores the delicate balance between the demand of public service and the human need for rest.
Nous sommes d'abord des serviteurs et nous devons...
We understand our status as servants to the public. It is our role to be here, holiday or not.
Par l'exemple, en étant au bureau aujourd'hui.
While the pace of recovery in Douala remains timid, it is clear that many public servants have risen to the call of duty. Their quiet but significant efforts ensure that essential services continue to function. With Boxing Day being a day of sluggish recovery for many, but for Douala's civil servants, it is a reminder that public service is a responsibility that transcends holidays. Well, thanks very much and welcome back. Cameroon has passed a new law granting legal status to customary marriages, elevating them to the same level as civil marriages. And according to the legislation, customary marriages must be declared to a civil registrar in the location of the couple's birth, residence, or where the ceremony took place. And once declared, and if there are no objections within the limited days for objections, the marriage is recorded in the civil registry and noted in the marriage or birth certificate of the spouses. We'll be coming back detailing on that in our subsequent newscast. 33 people have died during a riot in a Mozambican prison where 1,500 persons or inmates actually escaped. And elsewhere it was 33 in Cote d'Ivoire in Cote d'Ivoire, 150 clinics were shut down by the country's authority as a move to clean up the country's healthcare system for non-compliance. Our foreign news roundup with Sherifa Saleh.
Hundreds of illegal clinics have been shut down in Ivory Coast. The operation, led by the Directorate of Private Health Facilities and Professions, targeted several regions across the country and resulted in the closure of over 150 clinics due to non-compliance. These clandestine facilities were found in regions such as Beke, Lodjibois, Bélier, San Pedro, and Nawa. Authorities cited a lack of legal authorization, deplorable hygiene conditions, and unqualified personnel as key violations. Additionally, 23 other clinics were issued warnings to comply with regulations. The crackdown is part of a larger effort to improve the quality and safety of healthcare in the country. A riot at a prison in Mozambique has left at least 33 people dead and 15 injured. During the chaos, more than 1,500 prisoners escaped, though authorities have recaptured 150 so far. The riot took place against the backdrop of a post-election crisis in Mozambique. Supporters of the opposition party had been protesting near the prison in Maputo against the validation of the ruling party, Fremilo's election victory. The unrest provided inmates with the opportunity to break through one of the prison walls, triggering the mass escape and deadly violence.
Well, Sherifa Saleh putting the cap in this edition of the 650 News with me, John Henry Atembe, and of course Matthew Fangwa will be coming up shortly with the debrief, the actuality, in fact, with his sports analyst. From all of us, it's goodbye and wish you a wonderful Boxing Day.